¿Qué ahorita está en la cosa de llaves? Great morning, everyone, and welcome to the Piper Academy, the morning market report. This is OC, and this is the takeover. Let me fix the chatting here because it seems like there we go. We had a couple of things missing out in here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. So sorry about the delay. My microphone was not working, of course, as always. Nonetheless, we have a lot of news. I don't know if you guys have heard. This is not a brand new story. Nonetheless, this is a 4-day old story. Bitcoin OG wallet moved billions of dollars in BTC after 14 years of dormancy. But I mean, that and much more today in the morning market report. Let's get it, guys, because we have a lot of exciting news today to take over. By the way, if you have not noticed, OC Takeover. What's up, guys? And Ari Piper in the house. What is up, brother? Welcome. Let me get started with you guys because you guys are the most important part of the show. BC Port Corp in the house. What is up? Alexander G, of course. Alexander G, the Mud Queen in the house. What is up, Alexander? We also have Robert Mulligan. What's up? XYC0CXY. What's up? Ari Piper. Good morning, alumni. He says, welcome, Piper. Thank you so much also for letting me take over. BTC Port Corp, Crypto Trades. What's up, Crypto Trades? Crypto Princess. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, Crypto Princess. Welcome. Frank the Thang. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome. Who else we got in the house? I think that's all of us for now. Let's get started and let's get first with the old news so we can then start moving with the most recent what's going on in the market kind of things. Let's take a look at it. All right, so I know this is a little bit of an old news. This 4 days old. I don't know if we went over through this one yesterday. I was not able to join the morning market report, so just touching base in case we missed this or anything like that. Well, Bitcoin OG wallets move billions of dollars in BTC after 14 years of dormancy. Well, then, and this is kind of like a big thing. I've been looking into this for a little bit. I don't have at this point the finished report, but seems like there was some messaging also going back and forth through our couple of wallets. Both numeric values taking over some news in wallets, couple of weird things happening here and there. Let me just not to spread misinformation. Let me investigate a little bit more on that, and tomorrow I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown of what might be happening here, or the success of events that have been taking place through here. Nonetheless, I think we should be taking a look at this just to see how that flow of Bitcoin moves, because this could be, or this could signify maybe more injection of Bitcoin out there in the crypto space. But we'll see how that goes after more than 14 years of inactivity. Bitcoin wallet address holding 10,000 Bitcoin each were activated on Thursday and Friday, according to on-change data. Sorry, let me just get this out of the way. Perfect. On April on April 3, 2011, Bitcoin wallet address, whatever that address is, transfer 23,377 Bitcoin to the different destinations. Two of those addresses each are receive 10,000 Bitcoins, which their third took their remaining 3,377 Bitcoin, according to blockchain.com data. Bitcoin was worth just 0.78. Imagine that, man. I mean, at this point, I do remember that you could actually mine a lot of Bitcoin out of your just, what was it, Pentium 4 CPU? No, it was a little bit of a newer thing, wasn't it? I think we were already into into your i7 or i5 CPU. For 14 years, the two wallets were received 10,000 BTC each. The two names of the wallets remained dormant. This changed across the late Thursday night and early Friday morning when the moved their respective 10,000 Bitcoin stashed to new addresses within 30 minutes of each other. The third wallet, which received 3,377 Bitcoin, had already spent or moved its funds back in 2011. Nonetheless, remember, in here, this is a little bit of a, I would say, not manipulation. They stating the facts, right? But the last move was, I mean, they sold Bitcoin at 2011 when it was just 78 cents, right? And that's also the same date or very close to the same year where they distributed the Bitcoin, right? So not sure if they're going to be selling it. Again, there's no way to say it, to know it, but this kind of like feels like it infers that, right? Nonetheless, it is stating the facts, but I think that we need to hold and see. The receiving average have not moved their Bitcoin since receiving the 10,000 Bitcoin. It first transaction recorded on both new addresses, moving from an older, less effective Bitcoin address format to a more modern, lower fee format. So what, I mean, lower fee format, is it just a statement saying, hey guys, we're still in the markets, right? We're still alive. We still hold Bitcoin. We're still watching the markets. We still believe we are still here. I don't know. Maybe that could be it. And in my point of view, I think that is it, right? Let me just skip a little bit through it. The world's largest cryptocurrency has managed to maintain a solid position above 100K, of course, in recent weeks. Well, analysis says a longer-term macro catalyst could boost Bitcoin through its all-time highs of around 112. Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to see that push throughout a couple of days, right? But this is the news that I want to get out of the way for now. Let me see if I can read you guys in the time. Hey, Harp, what's up? Little fish in the house. What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome. Oh, Harp, today I don't have neither coffee, neither orange juice, but I'll fix that right after the show. But thank you so much, my friend, for bringing it up. Let's take a look at Bitcoin at this point, where we left out. Yes, we have a lot of spaghetti here. Let me start cleaning things up. There we go. I think that makes things much more cleaner and clearer. So far, let me zoom out so we see what are we following through so far. All right, so we have what I was expecting to have or to be the dynamic reactor. That is for the daily, by the way, right? We basically nailed that calling here. I was expecting just slightly more movement to the downside. Remember that we long from here, and then we long from this other dipping here. Not quite a big dipping here, but we were expecting that, right? All right, we still follow the huge megaphone that we have right here. I'm not sure if we should be just fixing this aligning here. It feels like it, but so far what I'm gonna do is just clone it. And let's see if I can move this. No, I can't. Let me just unfreeze it. There we go. And based on that, I'm gonna be using that one to move around like this, right? So let's see if we can make a much better line. Seems like we are, but let me keep the old line as is. Why am I now setting some supports if we're holding our grounds? Well, another dip in here is not out of the question. Remember what happened here in this megaphone. We have multiple hits before we have the last run up to the upside. But so far as we take some time, look at the part of or the top resistance gets farther away. So right here, the first areas of resistance that I'm seeing here are, of course, my bucks that we haven't been able to break, and I'm going to touch on that in a second. Then the 117, and finally the 125. Are we going to get there? Oh no. All right. Oh no. But we keep watching it. This looks like, to me, a Wyckoff distribution for a flat pause of bullish continuation with a little bit of a spring in here. We still need to take the 112 before we start calling out shots. But so far, we are feeling a little bit toppy, although we're building up some pressure, some bullish pressure here with just a recently printed big seeker right there. So it's time to zoom in into the charts in here and see. Well, I was looking at these resistances. Let's just get them out of the way just to clean this up. Once again, this trend line actually worked very nicely, not spectacularly great, but very nicely at predicting price retracement. Let's get again that out of the way. What are the things we have? Like they already have gone through this ones, and I would maybe keep this one in place. Let me, update this. There we go. And that will be it for right now. So what are we expecting at this point? We're in the middle of everything, guys. Again, in fact, we are back on my box. I was expecting to have that box, a ranging scenario on that box. Seems like I was a little wrong. Why is that? Because we haven't had enough momentum to break past the box in range on the box, right? Instead, we're just ranging, of course, on ranging zones. And what do I know? How do I know we are ranging zones? Because we are increasing on our volume in here on our VPVR, right? So basically it's acting as a gap in here where we're bouncing back and forth, also within these areas of support and resistance. And where those are our liquidity zones up and below. So far, what's going on with the order blocks? We keep a high order block at the top, and the soft order block in here that recently formed throughout the weekend, it's been just holding. And remember at the beginning of the class that I mentioned you guys, hey, what are you looking for supports, right? And I told you, because it is not ruled out or not out of the question that we could be going back down, and that is because of my order blocks. Look, we have a high order block and a soft order block. You let me know which one might seems like it's gonna hold, right? So which one is gonna hold for longer? I would say the hard or the high order block, right, rather than the soft. So we're gonna be bing bang in these areas until one of those gives up. In my estimates is that the soft order block is not gonna hold as much as the high order block, right? I mean, I know I say this a little bit with a smile on the face because that is usually the way it goes. So what would that mean? It means going to visit the next low order block. If for any reason, and this is the thing here, look at this. This is 70% bearish, all right? If for any reason we get that bearish liquidity and we lose this trend line right here at 106, I think this one, which is very similar in percentages, might not hold its ground, right? Even if it's a double soft order block, right? It's to spread out, spread apart. We have an empty zone in here, and grabbing that 70% bearish liquidity might be pushing back us to these areas, thus taking us back to the trend lines that we were talking about at the beginning of the class, right? So where are those targets? First, let's project this one in here, right? So let me project it as much as I can. There we go. Somewhere around where is our soft order block. That's why I'm looking for a possible bounce back up, right? And finally, the old line right down here, right? Or the new line, sorry, right down here, that it coexists with the loud order block. Yes, I know it's highly bearish, but remember, everything below your price action will act as a support. So far, we are pretty bullish. We're technically just above the zero line here. In our consolidation score, it is 8, which means we should be bullish. And yeah, we're bullish. I mean, of course, we're bullish. Being bullish doesn't mean not looking for retracement or possible re-entry. So how are we going to be playing this out? Just like this, all right? If for some reason I'm wrong, all right? If for some reason I'm wrong, we break above, we go back down, my entry, and then off we go to purple lines, TP1, and then the sky is the limit, all right? So that will be it. How am I going to be playing that? Adding alerts. Here we go. So as I break out, I'm going to be adding an alert right on previous highs and then lowering that alert just barely enough so I can have an early signal here, an early alert that I'm breaking through the order block, all right? In fact, I could be even going a little bit lower, just above the order block, just to tell me that, hey, buddy, you might be wrong in this time, so prepare for the breakout and pullback. This pullback might happen very, very, very quickly, so keep your eyes peeled here. And by the way, this is plan B, all right? So let me label that as plan B, and that is because I don't want you guys to get confused on what are we expecting or what am I expecting, right? So plan B. Weeks Wife in-house. What's up, BC Port Card? What's up, my friend? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So far, so good. What will be the plan A? Plan B will be a little bit more of a range in here. Let me just clear this up, all right? And, of course, going to visit some lows. In plan A, I want to subdivide it on plan AA or plan A1 and plan A2, right? And that is because this trend line that we have going on, and maybe we can bounce out of the golden line here. So it's still bringing or doing a little bit more of a, let's do something like this, maybe one more, going back down, maybe somewhere around even here. Let me just do this, all right? And finally going to visit some areas in here. So I will be saying something like that, if that makes sense, all right? Maybe a little bit of a ranging here, and then breakout, retest, off we go to bigger areas. Plan A1 will be just holding this zone in here, all right? Plan A2 will be just going all the way down. So I will be willing to take a long in here as long as I'm above the zero line or I have some bottoming pattern like another bullish divergence right down there. But so far, so good. That's what I got on Bitcoin. Let's go and take a look at what else we got in here. For the calendar so far, nothing major. Nothing that I will be tracking so far. I mean, car price, month over month, although could be giving us a little bit of an insight in here about the used car and economy. I don't think I'm going to be following that. 52-week bill, not really. 3-year note action, not really. Consumer credit change may, not really. I'm just going to be looking at what is the result. And we already have them. Previous, consent, forecast. So we'll see how that plays out, the actual one. So not really. I'm not going to be looking into it. So far as I would say the FOMC minutes tomorrow noon, that will be the one that we should be looking into, right? And finally, well, it seems like Thursday is going to be the one that has a little bit of a more exciting data here. Although Thursday, 15-year mortgages rate, I'm interested on that one. 30-year bond auction, also interested on that one. And jobless claim, 4 weeks average, kind of. So nothing major till Thursday. So far so good. I think we could be having a little bit of a calmed, all right, week throughout here. So at least time to just look at the markets and see, just concentrate on the TA, right? How long till we have new next FOMC meetings? 22 days. Our odds still the same, haven't changed at all, or basically none. Well, just going from a 2% last 2 weeks to a 95. So I would say it really a change, right? Current 425 to 50, 425 to 50. Next one to be there. So no changes there. We'll see how that goes. Maybe they could push it one more month or something like that. We'll see how that goes. Going back to the news, EU approved 53 crypto firms under the MICA. Binance and Tether missing. So, oh my God. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. That might involve a little bit of a hit on BNB. We'll see how that goes. 6 months into the European Union's full enforcement of MICA, the UE has authorized 53 crypto-related entities to operate legally across its 30-country economic area. So, I mean, despite Binance might not be here, might be just taking a little while to consolidate. Still, Binance is one of the most important exchanges. Not that I like. I do trade on it, just so you know, right? For full transparency here, it's not my primary. It's not my primary exchange. Bluffin is. So, also, if you're looking for exchange recommendations, well, not recommendations, but links, check out the description right down there. According to a July 7 update shared by Patrick Hansen, director of the EU strategy and policy at Circle, the list now circles 14 licensed stablecoins issuers from 7 countries and 39 MICA authorized crypto asset services providers. Coinbase, Kraken, Bitstamp, and N26 are among the companies that can now passport their services through the EU without needing additional local approvals. So seems like we're missing one of the two most important, which is fine. I think over time we'll see how that goes. Not really something that we should be worrying about right now at this point, but of course something that I believe that we should be just kind of like knowing about, all right? So when things start changing or shifting, maybe, I don't know. And again, this is just speculation. Maybe we'll see that Binance says, hey, no European Union for us, right? If you want to join, you will might be just circle around it. Well, that's when you start seeing some movements, but at least you know what is the background of it, right? Again, I just invented the last part, like the Binance not going to Europe, right? The European Union, but we'll see how that goes. It was just an example. Let's take a look at a couple of other things here. If the Fed, all right, perfect, cuts rates in July as inflation dips below 2%, all right, inflation dipping below 2%, well, we'll see about that. BTC could rally to 113K. I think that remains to be seen. I don't think that it's impossible. Remember, let's go back into Bitcoin to see what is our predictive analysis, right? Our predictive analysis, it is actually going to 111 at the top of that box. And if we're lucky enough, 114. So as you can see, we're not that far away. In fact, if I just look at what I have in front of me, let me just get rid of that. And then let's move this somewhere around here, right? So right there. Let's also grab this. And I'm taking this purple line as metrics, which gets me somewhere around 114,500. So going back to crypto news, could rally to 113, very close to where we're looking at rate cuts, bull fuel. Yes, of course, we know that. Yeah, not even a question. But are we really going to be getting those cuts? Well, then, I don't know. I don't know about you. I don't know. Are we? things might be changing at the last minute, depending on inflation numbers. And of course, that's why I think we should be looking into the minutes as we go, because that might lead us into understand what might be happening up next. All right. So far, yes, some crypto bullish news out there, but hang out in there, guys. Hang out in there. We still need to see. All right. So let's see another one that is actually kind of interesting to me. XRP takes the lead in South Korea. Is it really? With 1.22 billion volume of on Upbit, XRP surpasses Bitcoin and Ethereum, claiming 22% of total trading activity. All right, total trading activity on an Upbit site. All right, so it's not like XRP is going to be taking over Bitcoin and Ethereum for now. All right, I don't think that's going to happen. All right. By the way, I don't think that's going to happen in a mass globalized world. Although I think XRP might be going after Ethereum in a couple of years if XRP really does what should be doing. All right, it keeps moving up as it goes. By the way, XRP Army, it's been fantastic holding the price of XRP flat or flat-ish. All right. So no major push to the upside, no major dips, which is fine. As long as we don't see that retracement, we are building that flat path of bullish continuation, right? Let's take a look at XRP as we talked about, what is it, that news, all right? So let's go over XRP. Where is it? Here it is. And we are still on the same zone. Look at that. Beautiful. Has played out almost every single time. Bing bong on the range. So far, at this point, what are we having? Oh, this is it, guys. I think we might be having a winner chicken dinner in here. When are we then going to be going for the trade? The trade, of course, at retracement. All right. So we have a lot of the block right down here, a higher order block, and then a softer block. We are above the zero line in here. We are at 8 prime score and about to break the range. What range? The itty bitty tiny range that we are right now, right here at the last point in here. So what would it be for us? Well, I think that we could be having this, all right? And then it remains to be seen what happens right here. Why? Let me bring up the rest of my indicators. All right, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe it was falling short. There we go. We have a big area of rejection here. Maybe we're in a bigger range. And guess what? We are in a bigger range, right? So it wouldn't be surprising that we get somewhere around here and then we reject back to the big order block. And then finally we take all the way up to the top somewhere around here. Still, this would be a very nice movement out of a possible, there we go, for first 7% and then 13%. Is it confirmed movement? Of course it is not, but so far this is what I'm seeing. If I zoom in here, we have a big area of resistance being knocking, right? So price actually has been right there, constantly knocking. Something that kind of like gets me on the edge of my seat in here. It is, I mean, we know or we understand that flat top triangles, right, usually, right, tend to break to the upside. All right, this is not a flat top triangle. This is not, but it kind of like feels like one. Why? Look at this price action topping up here. Price action topping up. Price action almost there topping up, and price action slightly breaking through. All right. So is it? No, technically it is not, because the actual ramp or the increase of value starts in here while we don't have an actual flat top. We actually have it raising or somewhat kind of like a raising. There we go, much better. Wedge here. With that wedge usually breaks to or tend to break to the downside like that. In fact, there we go. Tends to break to the downside. right? So again, be careful with XRP. I would not be trading XRP unless we are breaking out and finding some support back in here, and then off we go. This will take maybe up to, what is it? I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow, next day. So, but keep your eyes on XRP. And for me, I'm going to be adding an alert right here and another alert at my dynamic reactor, because I do want to make some money on XRP, especially now that we're seeing a couple of news about it, right? So far, 22% of total trading activity on what was it? South Korea? Yeah, South Korea. So what's going on with South Korea? I think we need to investigate a little bit more on what might be happening in there. The block, Trump's, and by the way, there we go. We are finally here. Trump's True Social files with the SEC to launch a crypto blue chip ETF, an ETF that is going to be tracking Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and CRO. Again, XRP, Solana, CRO, Ethereum, and BTC. I mean, those coins that we've been looking into, right? So is this, I think this has a little bit more of a political statement. I think, and I'm talking about out of speculation, but call me crazy. But when one guy have enough influence, I think they could be leveraging that influence, right? And I think we have seen that on the previous Capitol event, right? When influence of one people got another bunch of people in trouble, right? Leading to open words, right? So as Papa would say it, words have meaning. See you all later, Week's wife. Thank you so much for jumping in here. Hey, Jesse, what's up, my friend? Thank you for jumping in here. We also have Drew in the house. What is up, Drew? Welcome, my friend. All right, so I think this could be, I think this could be something interesting to watch. We'll see. Most likely, we're going to be seeing the SEC, SEC going back and forth with True Social about this ETF. We'll see how much of that influential influential power we might be seeing being leveraged there. Although we already have an ETF for this crypto, so just copying and pasting, maybe making a mashup might be the way to go for a fast approval. I think we need to look the small letter to see how that ETF it's gonna function and what benefits might bring to the table. Because I don't know about you, but having Bitcoin next to Ethereum, Solana, and XRP and CRO seems like we want to push everything else based on Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't consider Ethereum to be up there with Bitcoin. I don't consider Solana being up there with Ethereum, all right? XRP, I do reserve my opinion for that. And CRO, really? CRO? I don't know. Mine might be outdated, but CRO, well, might be interesting to see. Just saying. All right, let's go and continue here. A little bit more of a serious, more data. And here, investors are chasing, and this is important, up on profitable firms and meme stocks. So what's going on here? We're chasing after non-profitable areas, right? We need to be careful because this usually might indicate either a break structure here because we're building up castles in the skies, all right? And well, let's keep reading here. 10 of the 14 Russell 3000 stocks that have tripled since the April 8th market low are unprofitable companies. All right, this is important. So what's going on with Russell 3000 and what are those investors doing, or what are we doing, right? According to Bespoke Investment Group, as of late June, 858 money losing stocks include in the index had relate to 36% on average, surpassing returns of profitable companies. Avis Budget Group, CAR, the car rent company that's first gained meme stock status in 2021, has seen its shares rally plus 161%. Carvana has seen its shares rise to 108% over the same period. Meme stocks seems to be back. All right, so meme stocks, I don't know. I think that's dangerous. That's dangerous ground. I think we're seeing a little bit more of the meme coin culture migrating to the stocks. Nothing at this point I would say extremely worried about, but this is something that I really wouldn't like to see, right? I mean, let's leave meme coins where they belong, something with this nuance that is called Bitcoin, right? And yeah, although important, despite I don't like this could be a niche of opportunity, right? How? Well, then, if you already know how meme coins react in the crypto markets, if you already have the experience of CAR and CVNA, all right. So on the stock markets, I think we could be making a little bit of a mashup and then follow the trend. At the end of it all, the trend is your friend until the end, right? So just leave Libra is absolutely coin. I'm up with that, but we'll see. All right, let's continue with the crypto news. We only have three more articles to go over, and then we do some TA. I want to do some TA on Solana, Ethereum, and of course XRP, just to keep track on what's going on, especially with this news that we're seeing. All right, so just in President Trump, Truth Social fall for crypto blue chip. Oh yeah, oh sorry, a repeated one down. Truth Social blue chip ETF. Here we go to assets to trust. Cons a primary of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple, XRP, and Kronos CRO assets. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, I think this is a little bit of an influential flex that he's having in here. Bitcoin Magazine Pro, lots of big money accumulating Bitcoin right now. We've just seen the amount of wallets holding at least 100 Bitcoin hit a new all-time highs. Wallets are accumulating. Are you? Well, this is an actual influx. Something important. Here's what usually happens. We see wealth accumulating, all right? And then we see wealth redistributing across wallets, all right? There's one breaking point in here. Despite they are accumulating, and I don't want to be the bear, all right? I don't want to be the bear. But if we see then those accumulation increase in one wallet, most likely they're accumulating back to send to exchanges, all right? What happens when wealth sent to exchanges? Exchanges are to buy or to sell, not to accumulate, all right? We haven't seen that yet, all right? We haven't seen that yet, and I think, or I hope, we don't see that soon. I really want to see just a top 100 BTC, kind of like just holding in there, redistributing across their wallets, and then not moving into exchanges. The less Bitcoin there are in exchanges, the rapidly the price can grow. All right. So far, let's just forward thinking. All right. This is what we're trying to do. Forward thinking and see and prevent to what we could be looking into. What are the trigger pointing here? If we start seeing whales moving their Bitcoin from the wallets to exchanges, that's when the red siren will be going off. All right. But so far, this is good for Bitcoin price movement. Nonetheless, again, I want to prevent you. If for some reason this starts to change and we see whales start pushing into exchanges, it's time for you to maybe reconsider your position, your holdings, but most important, your leverage. All right. So usually my holdings, they've been safe and sound since late years, from the late to throughout this year. They will be in the same spot. And well, then the only thing I'm going to be changing, it's going to be my leverage. All right, let's go to the Kobayashi later. Just a little bit of a politic news. Breaking President Trump's. He will send more weapons to Ukraine. And finally, President Trump says he has scheduled talks with Iran. All right, things started staying a little bit more balanced. Despite sending more weapons to Ukraine, we have seen Ukraine helpless. And Russia being pounding on him, right? So I think despite this is, all right, we're sending back things to Ukraine that levels the playground in the world, basically bringing a little bit of a balance to the terms that they can get into, if that makes sense. So, despite that being a real alarmist, for me, that is more like a hey, we could maybe expecting a little bit more peace or peaceful results so far. All right. Also, Iran talks with Iran again, much better. Great. Trump says he can't imagine doing another strike on Iran. Perfect. Hopefully, Iran also thinks the same way, and we are on our way to settle things down. Things are getting too hot in here, and I don't like it. Let's say go pew pew. What's up, bro? Welcome, welcome, Kylie Files. What's up? Welcome, my friend. All right, it's time for us to take a look at a couple of coins. Let's. We still have like 10 minutes, so let's go for. Let's get started with Ethereum. Perfect. Hashtag F Ethereum. And by the way, we're basically there, man. It played out fantastically. All right. Plan A and Plan B. Remember, Plan A was rejection. We did not have rejection. Perfect. We got it all the way here. We acknowledged that. That was not that far ago. That was third. So that was Thursday. Going back down to our support, prolonging this line. Not such a great line, but here it is. Oh, and that is this line. Man, I just want to grab it. This is it. Not such a great line, but there it is. All right, not the green one. The green one is our dynamic reactor. I want you to notice that despite it is thin, very, very, very thin, that usually indicates weakness, it's been holding like a champ. Are we going to be seeing that again? Let me clear this up. All right, perfect. And let me start withdrawing things that I'm seeing right now. All right, this is what I'm seeing at this point. This trend line here with an anomaly. And finally, another trend line here. Let's clone this one. All right, that was a perfect position. Let's make it white. I don't want to give you a bias. All right, whether if I'm bullish or bearish. No color scheme here. Let's go for white. And I think we keep pushing on it. What I want to see. Of course, I want to see it go to the moon. All right, but I always go for F Ethereum. I still hold a little bit of it. But it is with the second most important coin, all right? Made a huge mistake while going to proof of stake. That's my thought. But I believe that this could be a very nice movement that we're cooking. What would I like to see? I would like to see a retracement to here or to here, all right? And let's bring up our setup in here. So where do we have some support? First support, align with your trend line, all right? Nice. Second support or big support right down here. Perfect. Much, much better. So I want to see that fake out, create a higher low, all right, to create a much bigger range, and then a final breakthrough to then be on our way. So let me just adjust my, there we go, my alerts. I'm going to be pushing them slightly up in here. Let me also unlock this. Let's go a little bit higher. Once again, let's lock it back. And let's adjust this right there, all right? And this one, of course, at the previous highs. So what would the plan B be? If I'm completely wrong, and then we were taking these highs, we're going to be turning back in green, waiting for the retracement. I know we could be going for a retracement inside within this trend line. So be prepared for a possible fake out, and then off we go. The key will be creating a higher high, breaking the previous highs, right? And then a higher low still, even if we're back inside of that range, for then a push through the upside. So let's go for what else we see on that ETF, Solana. Let's take a look at Solana. All right, Solana, where are you, Solana? All right, Solana, pretty boring, but something interesting is happening. It's happening right now. It is a symmetrical triangle. Let me just get things out of the way here. Perfect. We have a symmetrical triangle. We're building up. We're very bullish, and we're trying to break. So you know what? Let me create another line in here. Let's clone it. Let's push it a little bit higher here. Let's lock it, and let's add an alert to it. All right, so that will be breaking. Let's go for message. Solana crossing trend line to the upside, breaking triangle. All right. Perfect. What am I going to be looking for that? A breakout retest. So breakout retest, off we go, and boom shakalaka. But we'll see how that plays out. We still have the quantum reactor very low here, which is fine. I want to see that quantum reactor below my price action. Yes, we have a lot of resistance up in here, but if you're able to take that resistance, right, just barely, right, to take these previous highs, just slightly above, I think we might have, well, then previous resistance becomes new support. So this retracement right here, all right, might not even be a full-fledged retracement. We might be seeing maybe a little bit of a range and then a further continuation. So beware of the pattern that we could be forming in here if we are going up here. Hey, JR, what's up, bro? Welcome. All right, and finally, what was the other one? CRO, Kronos. CRO USD. Let me see. Where is it? Well, whatever. We already have this one in here. Let's take a look at Kronos. Holy Jesus. All right. So it seems like in the last 4 hours, we have had a pop in here. Let's wait for our indicators to rebuild. All right. I'm going to be waiting for the flip of the ribbon. We already have a big retracement. Perfect. It's not going to be about the breakout. It's going to be about the retest. I'm going to be waiting for a multi-candle structure here, and then possible areas of re-entry right here on the support, and that will be it. I mean, I'm not going to be chasing the price action in here. The next thing that I could be going for is going to be the breakout, just to wait. I lost my entry. That's fine. The only thing that I can wait for, it is a pullback retracement and multi-candle structure. All right, maybe I can complement this or average this with a little bit more information, right? So going into lower time frames, we already have a little bit of a triangle here and a push through. All right, I want to see once again that maybe push higher and then that retracement, multi-candle structure. That's what I want to see. All right, guys, so I think that would be it for today. Let's go to the solo cam. Guys, thank you so much for joining. It was a full pack of news today. Overall, let me say that the sentiment, I will say that is slightly bullish. All right, meh, but slightly bullish. That is great. And that is talking about what's going on in the Middle East, the balance with Ukraine and Russia. Right now that U.S. might be sending some weapons there. Why? Because we might, or Russia might think it twice based on, hey, Ukraine already have weapons. What about retaliation, right? We need to just stay calm here. This might open up a window for assets to start going once again to the upside. I believe that we should be from now or from tomorrow start looking to altcoins, not just now for investing. All right, again, it's not time at this point to buy altcoins, but to start looking to possible entries and wait for the entry segment, right, of their entry position. So other than that, guys, remember, join the Discord. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your days, and see you guys tomorrow. And guys, thank you so much for spending your time here with me. Really appreciate it. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my love line, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.